And you also have some pretty neat looking maps in here. There's charts, and these are larger print pictures from the Bible. And this looks like Jerusalem.
Yes.
Show it up here. How did you go about getting these sorts of things made?
Yeah. We had a guy named David Barrett, who is you could go to his website, BibleMapper.com, who did all of the maps for us. So a lot of times, you've got the color map. So we've got color maps in the back on real glossy paper. But a lot of times that's all that a study Bible or a Bible might have. Sometimes they might have maps kind of scattered throughout, but they're black and white maps, which just are, they add some value, but they're really hard to see where certain boundaries are. And, I look at some maps, can't figure out, is that water or is that land, So it's really been a blessing that we've been able to do the full color study Bible. So every map, you turn to Jonah or Ruth or the book of John, and you can see right there in the introduction or right there where Jesus is taking a journey, where he went or where this battle happened, which I think just adds some vividness to it and really can help the reader. With regard to the drawings, we had an illustration firm in England that specializes in doing these sort of reconstructions. To my knowledge, they'd never done anything related to the Bible, but they'd done like DK travel guides, and they were the exclusive illustrator for National Geographic's travel guides. So, if you were going to go to Rome today, or you were going to go to London, and you went to, you pick up one of their guides, and you could see these beautiful reconstructions of buildings or cathedrals or the Vatican or something like that. So we knew they had no Bible experience per se, but these guys, I don't think there's anybody better in the world at doing architectural reconstructions. Then we needed to find who can tell them what to draw.
Right.
And another, I think, provision from the Lord, a Dutch scholar who's in the UK right now, Lane Rittmeyer, is widely considered the world's leading authority, whether you're talking about Christians or Jews or Muslims, on Jerusalem's Temple Mount. He did his doctoral dissertation at the University of Manchester on Solomon's Temple, and has a pretty massive textbook on Herod's Temple Mount, and he's an architectural archaeologist. So he has an architectural design firm, so he does drawings himself. So most of the major places in Jerusalem, he's been on site doing the drawings. He has this ability to just basically do the detective work and tell how the structure would have looked at that time. So basically, we combined the efforts of those two and put them in dialogue with each other. So what I think is the world's best illustration firm for a project like this, and the world's best archaeological reconstructionist, put them together for the first time, and just from a personal standpoint, it's probably the thing that I'm most excited about in the study Bible, because you can see Solomon's temple, and you can see the tabernacle, and you can see where Zechariah was when he got the prophecy within the temple, and you can see Golgotha, where Jesus died, based upon the very best up-to-date information, really in a way that's never been done before. And it's not just, I think some people will look at it and think, oh, this is just really attractive and beautifully drawn, but the amount of research that went into every little thing, I know not everybody can kind of go behind the scenes and see the amount of work that it took to put these together, but the research was meticulous to get things right, even down to the pool of Siloam where Jesus sent the blind man in the Gospel of John, even down to the stairs around the pool that were just excavated in the past few years. Those are based upon the best excavations, the best research we have.
So there's a lot of different facets of this book, Study Bible, that came together. What was the most challenging thing for you in all of that?
Well, I think the most challenging thing is that ultimately we had 100 different people involved with the project. Crossway itself is not a gigantic company, so and the scholars aren't, they're not sitting down at a conference and working on it together. They're all working independently. So the guy who's writing on Matthew, the guy who's writing on Luke, they're not tag teaming it, they're writing independently. So it's getting all of that and putting that into one coherent whole where everything matches up. There's not internal contradictions, the writing style is similar enough, the maps and the illustrations and the charts and the articles, that they all cohere into one. I mean, it's just an enormous challenge to get it all put together, but the Lord was amazingly faithful through the whole process. I mean, there were points where I wasn't sure we were going to get it published in October 2008, and it looks like, Lord willing, that will happen. But I don't think I anticipated from the get-go just the complexity of. It actually wouldn't be that hard a thing to put together a study Bible, but to do it well, to do it so that it's a coherent whole that really tries to set a new standard. The book Good to Great, I mean, going from good to great can be a pretty significant jump sometimes. So it's not my call to say whether it's a great study Bible, but we certainly worked as hard as we could to do something that would honor the Lord and that would serve the church.
Well, I think it is. But, I think Crossway has a commitment to quality in their publishing, and I think that, it shines forth in this.
Well, thanks. We do have a standard of excellence that we want to pursue, not for its own sake, not to try to win awards, but because excellence done in a non-idolatrous way honors the Lord. And with each thing that we do, we want to listen to what people are saying, who want to see improvements and want to try to keep setting that standard higher of pursuing excellence. So whether that's with the binding, with the paper quality, is with the quality of the notes. We want to do as best as we can. So thanks for that encouragement.
What is the next step, though?
Well, one of the things we're working hard on is an online version of it, so that if you buy the printed version, you'll get automatic free access to the online version, where you'll have everything on it, and you can not only see all the notes, see all the maps, see all the illustrations, where everything's hyperlinked and connected, but also be able to write and capture your own notes. When you read something helpful online, or you're taking sermon notes, you can capture it there.
You could change the text,
No.
open source it.
No.
Oh, okay.
But, so we'll have more details on that, probably coming in September sometime. But that's the thing, at least we're working on right now, is to have not only a print version, but a version that you can basically have the ESV Study Bible with you wherever you go,
without lugging this around.
Right, if you've got your computer with you.
Yeah, awesome. Is there? Obviously, there's not like a part 2 or something,
Yeah.
but is there more that you guys have plans to do with the ESV here?
Yeah, definitely. We're always thinking of ideas of different ways to get the ESV out there, and are open to suggestions too. It's not that we take every suggestion, but we want to serve the people who appreciate the ESV, and so this definitely isn't. Apart from the translation itself, it's the biggest thing Crossway's ever done. Involved the most amount of sweat and labor, and probably the most important thing we've ever done. But it's certainly not the last thing we've ever done or will do with regard to the ESV. So.